Hey guys, welcome to a new easy video tutorial, and today I'm going to tell you guys about Git, what exactly it is, and how to use it. So Git is a distributed revision control software, or version control software as most people call it. Basically, it's a very complicated system, but once you get used to it, it's a very good way to handle multiple code bases or multiple people working on the same project easily. So basically, here's the general flow. You have your computer over here, and it has a bunch of files on it. So this needs to transfer that information to someone else. So what you do is you transfer that information to a repo. That is something that Git holds, and so basically how it works is you can use several different ones. There's Bitbucket, GitHub, and a few other free ones out there. But basically you go to one of these websites and set up a repository so that you can push your code from your computer to the repository. Once that is done, you can pull that information off of the repository to another computer, meaning your friend's house, other developers, whoever else, or it can go off on its own track to a big old fancy server. So I'm basically just going to show you guys how to set one of these up, how it works, and how to do the basics of everything once you're inside of it. So some terminology before we begin. There's a few things that you should probably know. One of them is pull. So this is the most basic Git command. Pull is essentially a command where you say pull from this repository to this computer. Pretty simple. Push is the inverse of this, and that takes the information from your computer and pushes it to the repo. So this computer, or any other computers connected to the repo can push their information onto the repo. Before you do a push, you need to do a commit. Now, a commit is something, basically, you write your code and you commit that code with a message saying, hey guys, I added this new feature X. But you don't exactly want to send it live quite yet. Maybe you're going to keep working on it, maybe you're doing whatever, but you have to do a commit before you do a push. So you commit, then you push, then someone can pull. And that's kind of the flow of how things work. So let me actually show you guys how to set this up. I'll be using Bitbucket. So just go to Bitbucket, make an account, everything's free. And the first thing they ask you to do is create a repository. So let's go ahead and do that and do test repo. So you can fill out any of this other information if you want. I'm just going to leave it pretty basic and hit create repository. So now I have a repository. So the first thing you have to do to get a repository for the first time is clone it. So over on the left here, there's a clone button and it brings up a link. GitHub is almost identical, but I believe the button's on the right-hand side. So we copy this link and go into our Git client. So for this, I am using SourceTree. It's also free and available from Bitbucket. So basically just go ahead and download and install that, or use any one that you want. The terminology should transfer just fine. So what we're going to do here is hit clone new, and we're going to enter in the repository, and then click down here and I'll open up a destination path. Oh no, where did that go? So then we'll have a authenticate box pop up. We'll type in our password that we made on our repository just a few minutes ago, and we'll log in. So what this will do is when we typed in our password, it authenticated us up here, and now we're just going to hit clone. And now we are inside of our repo. There's nothing really in the repo. There's nothing really going on, as you can see here. Okay, so now that we have our repo fully cloned to our computer, there's nothing on it yet. So let's put something in it. So I went ahead and opened up the folder where we set our destination path before in documents/test repo. And you'll see there's a hidden folder here called Git, but you don't have to worry about that. So let's just create a new text document. Let's just name it README, and let's edit it real quick. So I'm going to open this up in Notepad, and let's see what happens. Okay, so let's just say this is my README. So let's go ahead and save this, and you'll notice we actually don't have to do anything. We saved it, and now if we go back to SourceTree, it automatically appears in our unstaged files. So unstaged just means this file has been edited, but it's not committed, it's not pushed, it's not anything. So what we want to do is we want to commit it. So we're going to click the checkbox, it'll go up into the staged files, and type in our commit message down here. Alright. Okay, so now I'm going to hit commit, and it's going to give us an error. please tell me who you are. This is because we haven't told the repository who is doing this action yet. So we're going to have to go up into options and enter in our default user information. So I'm just going to do my email here and my full name and hit OK. Now when I go to commit, it won't give me this error. And now my commit has been pushed onto the master branch. So now it is committed, as in I want to push it, but it has not actually been pushed yet. So if we go over here to push, we will push this repository. And we can view the full output here, successfully pushed. So now we can actually go back to our source, or our Bitbucket, and go to the source code, and we'll see here we have a readme.txt. And we can view it. This is my readme. So basically that's kind of how the flow works. To do the opposite now, if someone else were to push this repository, I could go in here and pull the repository into my local source tree copy. So then you're probably wondering, what are branches, what are features, what are hotfixes, that kind of thing. So generally how it works is this is a branch called master. It's just one branch and that's the default setup. Most people add a second branch called develop. So whenever they want to add something new, they go ahead and add it to the develop branch. Switching branches is very easy. So if we just hit branch here and I do develop, we'll create a new branch called develop, which is an exact copy of master branch at this point. So now what we can do is we can go back to our text file and edit it, say develop, and save this. Now if we go back, we'll notice we have uncommitted changes. So let's go here and commit them just like we did last time. Let's click the commit button and click commit. This now has committed this change to the develop branch, and in fact we can actually push this change from the develop branch as well. So what has this done exactly is now we have two identical branches, or we originally had two identical branches, and I changed one just slightly in the develop branch. So usually how this works is people will develop on one branch, the development branch, and then once all of their features and everything are good to go, they will then merge that back into the master branch. So if we go over to our branches now, you can see that we have two branches, a master and a develop branch, and if we go to develop, we can view different information here. So if we go back to source, we have, this is my readme, but if we switch to the develop branch, the readme.txt has our develop code in there. So basically this is how Git works. Git's not that hard, it just confuses a lot of people because it's a bunch of words that no one understands. But really the flow is you make changes on your computer, you commit those changes when you're done. Once you're done with a project, you're done, or want other people to use the code, you push that code, other people can pull that code, and everything else is just management, really. The branches, merging, that kind of thing. So I hope I answered all you guys' questions. Anyways, thanks.